welcome to Sway Bay Anime. Other than that, let's begin. So today, we're not going to be talking about anime, but we are going to be talking about is Parasite in love. Yeah, that dating sim. Okay, so I want to talk about this because it was like my second time playing a dating sim, and I played it like this week, and it was insane. Okay, and when I mean insane, it was insane, and it's really fun. So if you don't want any spoilers, I would say click off now. But okay, let's begin. So I wanted to go into it. So this is a trigger warning for domestic violence and abuse too. Like they talk about that in the video game. If you feel like that is a trigger for you, please leave now. Okay, with all that said, then let's really begin. Okay, so basically that game is wild. Okay, guys, it is a wild game. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time playing it because I just didn't know what was going to happen, right? So, like, one of the things that happened, like, so the main character, Neil, whatever, he's, like, in love with you, right? And so he's an amoeba. So you go into a pool, or not a pool, you go into a lake or whatever, and like, the amoeba goes into your nose or something, and you cough it up, and so you don't know you're sick all the way, right? So coming in there, you knew it was amoeba, because they may have anything to do with it, because in the beginning they talk about it like, hey, it's amoeba, like, it's very rare to get infected, blah, blah, whatever. And then he gets into your body, right, and then you start seeing things. And you're like, okay, like, what is this scene? Like, oh yeah, this must be the love interest. So when I first came in here, I was like trying to figure out, okay, like, how would the Parasite be a love interest? Like, what's he's gonna look like? And you see the thumbnail and stuff like that of the video, and like or the dating sim. So you're thinking like, okay, it may look like, something that's really like interesting, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, this is the person, right? So I was like confused, like, was he gonna come from the amoeba? Like, is he gonna come out the nose and stuff like that, like a mucus monster? But no, he's like a hallucination, I guess, that you see in your body, or he projects himself for you to see him. So Neil, oh my gosh, this dude crazy. Like, he is like, and I don't want to use crazy in a bad way, you know what I mean? But like, this dude is insane. Okay, like you feel like you're in an abusive relationship while playing the game, and you're trying to get out. And I feel like they did it in a way that it doesn't make you fall in love with Neil. Like, it's never a moment where you feel like, oh, Neil, like, I need to understand him, and I need to get on his good side. And like, you're like, you want to get on his good side, but it's to escape. It's never to, like, be with him, right? And it's like, us also, you feel like as the player, like, it feels like it is more of like a good way to talk about domestic violence, or even like that there's a good way to have it, like, because you never want the main character to end up with Neil. Like, you always trying to like figure out a way to make sure that you don't end up with him. Like, and Neil is like, he's wild because like one thing he does is that he tries to make you fall in love with him, or he believes that y'all are family. So he like tries to have babies inside you, and he's like, oh yeah, so why would a baby ever want to leave his mother's womb? It's so warm, and blah, blah. And meanwhile, he's like devouring your brain, right? Meanwhile, he's eating your brain, making you sick and nauseous, and he's talking about, oh yeah, we need to be together forever. And he already committed to like dying with you. And I would say like 3 out of the 4 endings is like you die. Like, like, I'm going to go a little bit into the specifics, but you die in 3 out of 4 endings. And it's just like, whoa, like, it's only like one real ending that you survive, and he has to survive too. And so it's like different ways you can convince them. So I guess like some of this was just like really interesting, because like dating sim games sometimes is like they do it in a weird way where they don't necessarily, they make you want to fall in love with the abuser, or it feels like you're like Stockholm syndrome or whatever like that. Like, that's what they're trying to do in some dating sim games. I feel like in this one, what it did well was that you didn't fall in love with Neil. You wasn't going to fall in love with Neil, and you always planned to escape. That was like the clearest goal, right? And then everything, you knew everything that was happening was unconsensual, right? He didn't necessarily do anything like SA related, but he was just like, hey, we're gonna be a family, we're gonna die together. Like, oh bro, like, no. And I remember I was just like, when I was playing this game, I was just like, this is just wild, uncomfortable. I was just like, just feeling like just really weird. And I was just like, but not like in a bad way though. It was like, you just really wanted to escape. And like, when we finally got the ending where we both lived, it was so relief. And then like that voice acting towards the end, when they had the video game had its own voice acting, it was, oh my gosh, you felt it because you played as the main character the whole time. So as you played as the main character the whole time, you're like, fuck you, Neil. Like, you know, you knew what she was going through because you knew her inner thoughts, and you knew, like, you were her at one point, playing through her role and her character, and you try to figure out different scenarios on it. And I guess I wouldn't say it's like a dating sim. I guess now to think about it, I would think about it more as like an escapee sim game. Like, you know what I mean? Like trying to escape like the situation and trying to leave and like not trying to end up with like Neil, right? And I would say, yeah, I feel like the video game was really good. And I wanted to talk about it because I feel like not enough people are talking about this game. And even though it is like nothing to do with anime, it has an anime boy in it. That's crazy. So if you like that stuff, like horror or like anything like that, that would be probably good for you to go into. But he was just like really obsessed with her and stuff like that. And then some points you did feel bad for Neil, but then other points you knew you had to leave him because he was just so like, he would take things too far, and he would just be like, he'll hurt you like in your mind, like, you know, hurt your brain if you didn't do that. He would try to read your thoughts and stuff like that. And I would say this though, I felt like it was really, really good in the way that they had like made the game, right? You felt like empathy towards the main character the whole time, as well as like you hated Neil, right? So I think that was a good job because sometimes that doesn't always happen in video games. Sometimes you end up like being like, oh, I feel bad for the main character, or you feel bad for the abuser. But this time around, I feel like they did a real good job of like, you know, making you like empathize with the main character and wanting to go escape and go free. So I would say if you haven't checked out yet, please check out that video game. It's free. I played it for free. It's a really fun video game to play as a dating sim game. I'm getting into more dating sim games lately. So this is my second one I ever tried, and it was amazing. So I wanted to tell everyone. So other than that, this has been Sway Band Anime. Peace.